So one of the questions that I get a lot from people is how can I get into a cook set without breaking the bank? Now, if you've ever wanted to do some backpacking, you want to cook a freeze-dried meal, boil some water, make yourself a cup of coffee. Now, in the backcountry, you know that there's a lot of options, or maybe you've explored some of the options, and you're confused maybe about should you get into a propane, isobutane, alcohol stove. Exactly where should you start? The other thing is that there is so many options on the market, and you can spend a lot of money really quick. But for me, those things are nice. But what I want to show you today is my low cost. You can call it redneck if you want. It is blue collar. It is bomb proof of a cook set, and it's something that you can put together for really cheap. But this cook set has not just saved me money. It has boosted my morale, cooked me meals on the Appalachian Trail. It has made its way through the Grand Tetons, Yellowstone. This cook set has been around and it has proven its worth. I want to show you what's in this kit today. Hey guys, my name is Scott from the Corbin Collective, and as I've said, this cook set that I'm going to show you today, as you can see, written on the outside of it there, it just says cook set, is a pretty low frills, low budget cook set. But this thing is actually, man, it has really stood the test of time. And I keep finding little ways to improve upon it, and that's what I like about it. Is something that's kind of homemade kit that I've put together. This little bag didn't even come with the kit. It came from some backpacking pillow. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to walk through this kit piece by piece and show you what is actually in it and how you can go probably down between Amazon and Walmart, put this thing together for really, really cheap. So let me just dive right in. I'm going to pull the cup off the bottom. This is a pretty standard little camp cup. This is aluminum. Sure, you can buy titanium, you can spend all the money you want, but this aluminum cup, it does the job, especially when you're just getting started. I'm going to hold this windscreen to the side for a moment. I'll explain that in a minute. Kind of the mainstay of this whole rig is a Stanley 20-ounce cook set, and they sell this down at Walmart. Now let me say this about Stanley. Stanley makes a lot of great camping gear, but not a lot of great backpacking gear. And the difference between camping gear and backpacking gear is really the weight. Now when you buy this kit, it normally has like 3 or 4 of these little plastic cups. They're hard plastic, and they weigh a ton. And I don't recommend them. I actually threw them away because I don't use them. They're great for camping, but not for backpacking. So all that I want out of it is just this 20-ounce cup itself. Now, inside of my rig, there is it's a base plate or a footprint for a propane tank. I'll show you that in a second. I prefer to use a windproof lighter. These seem to hold up really well in the outdoors, especially if it's raining and it's windy. And so I'm going to put the burner there for a second. I'll talk about it. But inside of it is actually, if you use a 110 gram propane, or excuse me, isobutane, I use those two interchangeably, not thinking. But this is made by JetBoil, but it doesn't matter. It could be any brand. These little kickstands I found to be actually really, really handy, and they do make things a whole lot more stable when you're out there cooking. And it's a little piece of plastic, so it's worth carrying. Now, obviously, that is your base, your isobutane. Now, when it comes to well, the heat source, the burner itself, a couple years ago, I took a gamble, I thought, on a burner that I saw on the Amazon and some YouTube channels. It was called the BRS maybe 3000, and this little burner is actually the lightest burner that I've found on the market, and you can get it for probably less than 15 bucks. Comes in a little bag like this, and to be honest with you, there are more expensive and there are more, I'd say, robust burners. But this little thing, I mean, it really gets the job done. And but it's probably 15 bucks on Amazon. Like I say, windproof lighter. You know, we're in business, and you're right into cooking. Now, let me say this about this other element. So when you're cooking and you're just getting started, one of the things that you're going to waste a lot of butane is with a crosswind. If you got a lot of wind that's blowing across when you're cooking, you're losing heat. So you can go buy a windscreen that goes around your burner, or I made this, and this is made out of very thick aluminum foil. It's actually not aluminum foil. It is a lid to a food serving pan. You ever been to like a wedding or some kind of a catered event and they got those metal aluminum trays they carry the food in? It has this a really kind of a flimsy lid. It's a lid from that I use. I folded it and then I did some beveling on the edges and I made it where it actually fits perfectly around. And the cool thing is it cost me nothing. It was a pan that we had laying around, wasn't being used. And so there are a lot of a lot of versions of windscreens, but I'll say that this one, if you're looking for a low cost, pretty much bomb-proof system, this works. Now, like I said, you can go spend a lot of money on some really cool gear, or you can kind of start with some things that you can find at Walmart. I would say that people have asked me, do I want to upgrade my cook set? And to be honest with you, this works for me, and it works for me, and there's some really cool stuff out there, but I'm gonna keep using this one until it doesn't, until I find a better way to improve upon it, because like I say, I'd rather spend money on other gear if I have something that works. So I hope this helps get you started. I'll put all the descriptions for all these products down in the in the descriptions below. And so I want to get you out there on the trail, saving you money, saving you some time, giving you the knowledge so that you can go create some intentional adventure of your own. Be safe out there. God bless.